All right, there. Welcome back to News Talk Tonight on the Horn, the Hartford Online Radio Network, sponsored by Gateway Financial Group, accounting firm of Budwitz and Meyer Jack, and some other really lovely people called Deepwater Seafood, Farmington Valley's freshest seafood store. You can give them a call at 860-676-9657 or fax them your order, 677-2281. You can pick it up after work Tuesdays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Sea scallops, fresh oysters, and much, much more. Having a party, paella for 12 and a salad is all you need. Spicy chicken, andouille, sausage, scallops, shrimp, halibut, all from Deepwater Seafood of Avon. Give them a call. Joining us now, I think it's our good man Terry on the line. Terry, you there?
Yes, I am, Brian. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Thank you. It sounds like you're in an echo chamber.
Oh.
But that's good because we like that.
Echo.
I can do that too, Terry. No, that's great. So you were just listening to the William Tong interview, yes?
Yes, I was.
What do you think? Pretty sharp guy, actually.
Yeah, I think he's terrific. I think he's a good candidate. I love successful immigrant stories of the kind that he tells, with his parents coming here and opening that Chinese restaurant and watching them work hard and build a business. And it obviously had a real effect on him because he worked real hard to get where he is.
You know, it's a great American dream story.
Yes, absolutely. And that is a very compelling story to tell on the campaign trail because people like to hear those kinds of personal stories, especially when they have such a happy ending as his has.
Jen, what did you think was where he was a little lacking in some of his description?
Where do I think he was lacking?
Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I know you like this guy. He's a great guy.
But on the spot. He's a friend of mine, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I knew him during the Obama campaign.
The Obama campaign?
Yes.
That's weird that you would meet someone on the Obama campaign and like you're
Shocking.
A huge, John McCain fan. It's like weird.
I really can't say. Well, I have to say I think he maybe naive isn't quite the right word, but the idea that somehow money is going to exit politics anytime soon, I think is very unrealistic.
And I mean, I don't think he's wrong that it's probably killing us, but I don't know what else to do. I mean, we're developing the aristocracy like no one has ever seen before. And I think, monarchies in England ain't got nothing on what we got now because we got huge wealth and it's all private ownership. And there is no king to say, hey, you know what, knock it off or I'm going to knock off your head.
But, I love what you said exactly, that people who have more money have more free speech. And that is inherently unfair. I mean, the whole argument the Supreme Court has, it falls down when you say exactly what you said. And I'd love to see that revisited by the courts. Well,
if it does get revisited that way, Terry, I want you on the horn writing articles all over the place that I was the guy that came up with that phrase.
I think a lot of his talk about campaign finance and evils of money in the system, I think a lot of that has to do with, pardon me.
Are you watching a dating site?
No, somehow your feed started up again. Anyway, I think a lot of his talk about the evils of money, I think a lot of that has to do with the position he's in the campaign, being the upstart, being the underfunded candidate, and it's also a way of differentiating himself from Chris Murphy. Because he and Murphy, as the way I read it, don't really differ a whole lot on the issues. So that is one way of really setting himself apart from Murphy. That's my take on that.
Here's an impossible question to ask and answer. You think William Tong becomes the senator and then he becomes, just a fat, happy, rich politician? you think he turns into the Chris Murphy that he doesn't like now?
Oh, no, that's not.
You don't think so?
No, I mean,
I don't know.
I don't think he doesn't like Chris Murphy. I think Terry's exactly right. I think that's his way of differentiating himself. Because, I mean, really, if you listen to the two interviews, it would be hard. You'd be hard pressed to find many areas where they come close to disagreeing. I mean,
you know what I didn't ask him about? I didn't ask him about healthcare. I think I was so excited about the nuclear capacity that I kind of glanced over that. But yeah, Chris Murphy had said that he wants, he sees healthcare now no longer as a privilege but as a right, which I think is the only way that universal healthcare argument flies with conservative Republicans like myself, because then you can equate it to, hey, look, we don't want citizens having to buy, tanks and aircraft, and we don't want them to having to go out and purchase these huge operations that, would bankrupt even the most wealthy of them. So, I think that's the best argument for that kind of universal healthcare thing, even though I'm not really sure how I come down on that quite yet. We had a bunch of other questions, though, starting off about small business. I tried to stick them a little bit, but not too much, because it's a fair interview, damn it, on the jobs thing. Connecticut is not a friendly place to start a business. They are abusive. And I'm not really sure. He has some fascinating ideas about these new hires. If you hire someone that is on unemployment,
yes,
their unemployment wages will go to support that new employee. And then if the job is, I don't know, call it $2,600 a month, $1,300 a month would come from unemployment for the first few months, and then another $1,300 from the business. So the business gets a little break, and they only have to cough up $1,300 as opposed to $2,600. But then Social Security is kind of flowing in there to kind of help not only the employee hire someone, but also incentivize them to hire that person. I think that's pretty novel.
I hadn't heard that before either. Yeah.
And it's on his website if you want to go check it out, guys. WilliamTong.com. But again, things like the business entity tax, it's just it's like the bully on the school bus that pretends to hit you, you flinch, and then whacks you twice for flinching. I hate that. I hate that.
Well, I know the governor's trying really hard, at least with these larger companies. Got the first 5 initiative, et cetera.
Yes.
Which I believe is what William Tong was referring to when he was talking about NBC, et cetera.
No, more jobs, bigger companies, always really good. Terry, what did you think of this? Is weird to me. The Pass a Job Creators Visa to help talented entrepreneurs create jobs right here on our shores. He says Google, Yahoo, Sikorsky, Electric Boat, all of these companies were founded by immigrants. We need to make sure that the next Google isn't started in Russia or China. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, but Google, Yahoo, Sikorsky, Electric Boat, they're all here in the United States. Who cares if it was started by immigrants? I didn't really understand his argument there. Do you?
Well, I think what he's talking about is, especially in the high-tech industries, the number of engineers, software engineers, and other engineers we are short on them in this country. And so you'll find that a lot of these high-tech companies have to hire from outside. They have to hire from Russia. They have to hire from India and other countries. And that is something that he thinks that we should be encouraging qualified immigrants to come here and work for these companies so as to encourage these companies to do business here in the United States rather than having those folks start their own companies in those other countries. Yeah, I think that's what he was talking about.
Yeah, I had the sense that, especially the Republican presidential candidates are so, talking so anti-immigration. I think probably he was a little bit referring to that, of just being more friendly towards the kinds of immigrants that could come and start companies like that. Having visas that would allow people to stay longer. He's saying his dad that was, running low on his tourist visa, that having the kind of visa that would allow entrepreneurs to come and start up companies here.
The bottom line, I guess, for voters is, say he's the candidate to go up against Miss Worldwide Wrestling. Can he beat her? Can he actually win? And I don't know. Even though money is terrible and all that kind of stuff, do Democrats say to themselves, look, she's got a lot of money. We better put Chris Murphy in there to try to make sure that, we get a fair shake at this. Because William Tong, maybe he's a great a great fundraiser, but that's an awful lot of money to make up. What do you guys think? Can he win?
I think it's very unlikely. What I think probably is going on is he's putting his name out there now. I mean, I think it's very difficult to make the leap from state rep to United States senator in one leap, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think he's getting his name out there now, and he is increasing his name recognition. And of course, now he's almost part of a legend here in the state, as Colin McEnroe termed that he made that term Tong fever. And it's kind of caught on, and I think people sort of know who he is. And even if he doesn't win, the next time he runs, his name recognition will be higher. He'll be sort of a known quantity, and he'll be in a different position.
Yep.
It could be, and you know what? That's a smart way to do it. Jen and I were talking earlier. I don't even know if we were on the air or not, but we were talking about the same thing. We thought state rep to senator was kind of a big jump. We think maybe state rep to maybe you poke in at U.S. Congress, or maybe you get into one of the executive levels of the state of Connecticut. Maybe then, like kind of what Susan Bysowitz was trying to do. Maybe that would be a better path. But certainly he can get some name recognition, and maybe in the next election, hey, it's only these things happen every 2 years now. Maybe he can do something. But I don't think he would. Senator's kind of out. Let's say Murphy wins. We got 2 Democrats in there. I don't think anyone's going to primary a sitting Democrat. As much as I'm sure some people would love him to go against Blumenthal, that just wouldn't happen. I think everyone in the state of Connecticut would, but I just can't figure that one out. But I don't know. Final thoughts? Good guy, but not going to win.
No, I don't think so. But I think he's acquitting himself very well, and he has that great story. And what I find amazing is that he went to the University of Chicago Law School, where he somehow survived having Barack Obama as a teacher.
Exactly. Yep.
And although he was a little bit critical of his former law professor tonight, I did note that.
Yeah.
In saying that he was very disappointed that President Obama has decided to sort of play the super PAC game and go along with this kind of thing. And it's not the first time Obama has done this. He pledged to accept public financing in 2008, and then just basically said never mind, and went ahead and raised all the money he could. So I have a feeling that was heartfelt, though. I don't think Tong was just striking a pose there.
You could be right. We're talking to Terry Cowgill from CT News Junkie, the columnist. Hey, you were part of the first editorial board meeting with the governor. How did that go?
It was terrific. I enjoyed it very much. We went on Friday afternoon. It was sort of late, about 6 p.m., and went up to the governor's office, 5 or 6 of us. The first ever editorial board of CT News Junkie that in the brief history of the website. And so those who are in the editorial positions, such as Christine Stewart, who is the editor of the site, and her columnists, her paid columnists, and of course her business partner and husband, Doug Hardy. We were all there and asked the governor a lot of questions. It seemed like most of the questions were about education, but we certainly got into a lot of other topics, such as art funding. We got into certainly transportation. I asked him a question about liquor reform, the sale of liquor and the reforms thereof. We talked about the gross receipts tax on gasoline and how high that was. We talked about tolls, a whole bunch of other things. It was really terrific. And this week, of course, our columnists are going to be writing columns on these topics. And we got 2 of them up, or at least one of them up already, plus an editorial. And I'll have a column up probably by Friday. So it was great, and I'd like to do it again. In fact, I think we would like to interview some of the other candidates for office this year as well, and we'll see how that goes. But it was great.
Good stuff. It's great that the governor is kind of stepping out and doing that sort of thing. I don't remember Roland or Rel doing that. Did they do that and I just kind of missed it, or what?
I think they did, but the real story for CT News Junkie there is that we were really treated as equals with the print media. And I think that kind of signals a little bit of a change in the media landscape.
Yeah.
And that if 4 years ago, if you were to say that an online-only publication would be granted an editorial board interview with the governor, people would have sort of looked at you and said, I don't think that's going to happen.
What are you doing? You're comparing me to those bloggers out there, those blog heads? No, I don't think that would happen.
Exactly. You know, there was this prevailing feeling that unless something was in print, it wasn't quite reliable. But, of course, the CT News Junkie brings a very professional ability to the Connecticut journalism landscape. And all of our stuff is very professionally done and vetted and edited and all that kind of stuff. So we're just as legitimate as the print media for sure.
You know, Terry, this is Jen. You know, I was talking to my sister, and Brian and I were just talking earlier. Is Connecticut unusual in this regard? My sister worked for the New York Times, and she doesn't know any place in New York that has an online, has a news organization that's just an online presence.
You know, it might be unique in that regard. I'm sure there are some other states where this is happening. A lot of this, though, has to do with really the vision of a fellow named Dan Levine, who started CT News Junkie, I think probably back in he worked at the Hartford Advocate, and before that he worked at the Lakeville Journal with me, and he founded CT News Junkie, and I think probably around 2003, 2004, and he had this idea for an online-only publication that would cover the state government. And when nobody else was doing it, Dan was doing it.
Yeah, back in 2005. Yeah, that's when it was, 2005.
2005, right. And Christine and Doug bought the site from him and have taken it to the next level. And so I don't know whether it's done in other states. That's an interesting question. And I'm sure Christine or Doug could probably answer that better than me.
Yeah, no, it's quite amazing. Even with the other sites, localonlinenews.tv, kind of more of started as a West Hartford site with Lon Seidman and the news anchor Anna Sava, and now they have Lon and Doug have created this other thing, this independent media network, kind of culling together a whole bunch of us guys and gals who do this kind of stuff. I said it.
Yeah.
And, hey, all of a sudden, the last report I got 4.5 million page views a month.
Wow. That
blows the Capitol Watch section out of the water as far as a blog. So, you know what? Yeah, I think we should revel in that. We should be excited that we're all,
very exciting.
Here. Some of us are making money. Some of us are not making money. But, but we're all doing it. And really, putting up some good product out there. But Terry, it is great to have you on. Let's grab a cup of coffee one of these days and have you back on.
Absolutely, and I would encourage people to visit my site, which is called ctnationalpolitics.com, and it's an aggregation service for Connecticut political news. It's sort of a Connecticut version of Real Clear Politics, and I would encourage people to visit it if they're interested in Connecticut politics. It's all there.
We will send a link up on our channel here for folks to go visit that. Thanks, Terry.
Very good. Thanks a lot.
All right, Terry Cowgill right there. He's got his own site. He's a big mover and shaker over at CT News Junkie. He's a man about town. All the women swoon when Terry walks in the room, which is why we have to have him on the phone. Otherwise, Jen would be on the floor. That's how it works here. Hey, thanks for joining us tonight. We are sponsored by Gateway Financial Group, the accounting firm of Budwitz & Meyer, Jack, Deepwater Seafood of Avon, Sherpa Technologies, and CentralCTDental.com. Very special thanks to Jen Just, our chief political analyst, and of course, State Rep William Tong for calling in, and Terry Cowgill from CTNewsJunkie.com. I'm Brian Parker. We'll see you next week.
Sandits Travel for business and leisure. We'll take you there. Sandits Travel has been proudly serving Connecticut since 1960. That's over 50 years. And we're ready for another 50 years of superior service. Whether you prefer to come in, call in, or log on. We invite you to explore how efficient, diverse, and fun it is to book through Sandits Travel. Save your money and your time with us. Sandits Travel. We'll take you there.
Fully operational. Fully engaged. On the horn. Hartford. OnTheHorn.com.